Check it out, California back at you. Repping Audio Nerd Record Store out of Rockland. Like to thank them for all their support. Great record store. I like to go there. They have the greatest selection. I've been to a lot of record stores. They always have just top-notch stuff. Big shout out to Steve, the owner over there, and Sam. She works there too. They're always looking out for me and finding good stuff that I'm looking for. So shout out to them. Shout out to my boy Fat Pockets. Find him on SoundCloud. Today, we're going to go over 10 records that I started getting into when I started first getting influenced by music other than what my parents were playing for me. You know, we'll kind of get to those, and then we have a surprise stack over here that we'll talk about after we get through these first 10. So, let's get to it. One of the first records that I remember putting on, you know, in my siblings' room, they had a turntable, I didn't have one yet, was Queen, The Game. I remember coming home from my babysitter's house, maybe I was in 6th grade. I lived in some apartments and everybody there was talking about a song called Another One Bites the Dust. I mean, what a phenomenal song. Just the beginning, everything about it. You know the song. It's so good. You know, and there's just a lot of good tracks on this. I really like Crazy Little Thing Called Love as well. But Another One Bites the Dust is the real standout for me on this album. Queen, The Game. I like that. Next, we have the one and only AC/DC, Back in Black. God damn, motherfucker. This is a hot album, dude. The opening track is so good. Hell's Bells, so good. All right, so You Shook Me All Night Long. You know, these are a lot of the kind of more popular ones, but I mean, where do you go wrong? The whole album is popular. This is just such a great album. I believe this is after Bon Scott died, and I think I even heard he wrote this, and then Brian came in and sang this. I don't know that for a fact. You can let me know if I'm wrong. But this was an album I used to sneak into my siblings' room and play when they weren't there. When my friends would come over, I would always put on Back in Black, and I thought it was the coolest shit ever. Just thought I was cool. Of course, we have Van Halen, 1984, the little cherub smoking the cigarettes. I don't think smoking cigarettes is cool, but when I was young, seeing a little baby angel smoking cigarettes, it seemed pretty cool to me. This is a great album. You know, it has classics, Jump, Panama, you know, obviously Hot for Teacher, one of my favorite Van Halen songs of all time. Always Van Halen over Van Hagar. I don't care if Van Hagar sold more records or not. Diamond Dave, that's my guy. 6th grade friend was showing me Police, Synchronicity. Just the album cover was great. I remember my friend, you know, we were in art class and he kind of copied this blue, pink, yellow before we were doing some silhouette drawings. That was just a big standout for me. I just remember that. These are all originals too, by the way. You know, I try to get originals over represses whenever possible. But, you know, Every Breath You Take, King of Pain is such a good song. I really like that. Wrapped Around Your Finger. What else do we got on here? Oh, Walking in Your Footsteps. And Synchronicity 1 and 2 on here. So this is a great album too. It just really takes me back to a time when I was just starting to discover what my own style of music was. A lot of the influence was coming from the older people, like I said, older sibling, and then older people in my neighborhood. In 6th grade, I got my first rock t-shirt for Christmas, I believe. Maybe it was my birthday. It was a jersey shirt, those old school ones with the black sleeves and the white front. It was Def Leppard, Pyromania. Holy shit, I think I wore that shirt every single day. It was just the coolest. That song, Photograph, I still love it. It's so good. I can't get enough of it. Back then, I used to just listen to it over and over and over. Coming Under Fire, Billy's Got a Gun. You know, a lot of people kind of fell off of Def Leppard after a while, but this album to me is still classic, cool. I like it better than On Through the Night. I like it better than Hysteria or, you know, any of those other ones. This to me is classic Def Leppard. Even the cover's cool. I mean, this is just this this artwork, very vibrant, this explosion coming over, and just pyromania. Just sounds like dangerous rock and roll when you're 6th grade. Pretty cool. At the same time I was hearing Def Leppard Pyromania album, I was hearing Quiet Riot Metal Health. I mean, come on, look at these guys on the back. They're just rock and roll. You know, Come On Feel the Noise and Metal Health were like the first 2 songs that I heard that I was just like, wow, these guys are rocking. You know, really cool stuff. For me, this was before MTV. You know, this was before you got to really have music and images that went along other than, you know, Circus Magazine and maybe Hit Parader, but you're just looking at static images. So the music was really telling its own story, and whatever you're visualizing in your brain from a creative aspect was kind of what was going on with it, as opposed to some producer dictating what you should be, you know, thinking about while you're listening to the music. Very, very special time in music. Of course, goes along with that group of records is Rat, Out of the Cellar, Round and Round. You know it. I love it. You know, Stephen Pearcy, you know, he's hanging with all the Motley Crue guys back in the day. I didn't even know until I bought this record recently and I looked at who was on the cover. I remember this girl when I was younger. You know, you can get a closer up look right there. Who is that? Tawny Kitaen from the Whitesnake video. Yes, it is, believe it or not. So go dig through your record collection or your CD collection. You'll see what I'm talking about. That's pretty cool. I didn't know. I didn't know she was, I know she was, you know, kind of a video vixen, but I didn't know that she actually made the cover of this Rat Out of the Cellar album. So pretty cool. I like the song Wanted Man on here too. Lack of Communication. You know, these are all good records. These are, I think, good staples to have if you have anybody who's just into rock music from the 80s. These are the ones. Another one that I used to listen to, I had this cassette and I just liked it so much, is Scorpions, Love at First Sting. You know, I just remember it seemed kind of provocative early on out. This guy kind of making out with this chick while he's tattooing a scorpion on her leg. Pretty cool when you're in 6th grade, maybe 7th grade. You know, Rock You Like a Hurricane, Big City Nights, Still Loving You was a slow jam. I always kind of like the ballads. I think that they're good. You know, as I was starting to get into girls and stuff like that, it starts to give you some emotion that goes along with that. I think it's pretty cool. Black and white cover. The Piece de Resistance, back from that time era for me. I remember being in 7th or 8th grade in junior high, and I was listening to all this stuff, and some guy that had his locker above mine opened it up, and he's like, what are you listening to? And I told him, you know, this type of stuff, Quiet Riot, Def Leppard. He pointed to some pictures torn out of a magazine, and it was none other than Motley Crue. And he said, these guys are what's up. And you know what? He was right. This album is so killer. You know, you have the gloss upside down star. Everybody was freaking out thinking that they were devil worshippers. They're actually saying shout at the devil, not shout with the devil or kill anybody or anything like that. This album is so iconic. Most of you, if you are lucky enough to have the vinyl record, you'll see that it has this killer gatefold. I mean, I don't even know if you can get in on all of that freaking great rockness. Call it glam, whatever. These guys are in leather and spikes, and it just, to me, it looked cool. Nikki Sixx looked just super cool to me back in the day. I guess he's still pretty cool now. Too bad Vince's voice is blown out, but this gatefold is just what's up. I mean, I would love to just have this on a shirt, wouldn't you? Me too. So anyways, this has like so many good tracks. You know, Red Hot, 10 Seconds to Love, Looks at Kill, Bastard, Helter Skelter, believe it or not, is my favorite, one of my top favorite covers. I like it better than the Beatles version. I think I might have said that in a past episode or not, but you know, I know my boy Aaron is probably rolling over right now, although he likes that song too, but he's a big Beatles fan. But shout out to Aaron. The Motley Crue version is better than the Beatles version. That's all I got to say about that. So that's kind of my top 10 songs or records that I started getting into when I had, you know, the availability to buy cassettes. This was before CDs or anything like that. And some of these records I would go into my siblings' room and listen to and all that. That's kind of what was going on before I got bit by the hip hop bug. You know, and we'll kind of get into that maybe on another episode. But this surprise stack here, I wanted to just say, hey, this is some of the stuff that I've been buying since the last time I talked with you, and maybe I'll start putting some of these things in so you can kind of see. This is a band that I've been into quite a bit lately. This is the Distillers. So this is Brody Dahl. She used to be Brody Armstrong. She's used to be married to Tim Armstrong from Rancid, and then she was married to the guy from Queens of the Stone Age. But this is their first record, the Distillers. It's punk rock. Brody's the singer, and her voice is just everything that Courtney Love wishes she could be, I think. And I'm a big Courtney Love fan. I don't care if she's a Kurt killer. I don't have any proof on that or anything like that. But Brody Dahl on this album, you know, it's a little bit rougher. Obviously, it's their first album. She's a lot younger. The whole band is younger, and there's a lot of people who are in the Distillers now that, you know, were on this that aren't there now. But you know, really good album. If you get a chance, find it. This one's cool because it's white. Check that out. Woo! Pretty cool. This is on Hellcat Records, which I think is the album owned by Tim Armstrong. She's no longer with that label anymore. Obviously, they're divorced or something like that, but her vocal is awesome. Next, something that I got, you know, I was looking for this for a long time, and it took my buddy Aaron to find it for me. This is TSOL's Strangelove. You know, this is an album that is just really hard to find. And when he found this, I was a little bit bummed out because it's not the picture cover. I don't know if you can see, kind of the original one has this picture here on the whole cover. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if that's in focus. But when I looked at this, I realized that this is actually a promotion-only copy, which I always like those. Usually they have a gold stamp on them or something like that, but it has this hype sticker on the actual cover itself. And this is, you know, the promo copies are what they release to DJs and radio stations and all that, usually before even the record is available to anybody. I think that these are more rare. You know, people are up to their own interpretation of what's collectible to them, but this is a great album for me. I love the song In the Wind. It's so good. The whole album is really good, but In the Wind is the standout track for me on here. It's a little bit slower, but it's good. And the title track, Strangelove, awesome too. So once again, these are just some records. Aaron found this for me at, I think, a punk rock flea market. And I've been looking for this record for over 3 years. So to be able to have somebody help me find it, you know, if you have vinyl friends out there, I'm sure you know you guys are always digging for everybody else. So it's important, you know, there's a lot of ground to cover. Anybody can go on eBay and buy anything. How cool is it to find it in the wild, especially if it's for somebody? So shout out. All right, so this is the Cure single for Love Cats. This is a 12-inch single. 12-inch single for me is usually just a single, not a whole album. But this has a song on it on the B-side called Mr. Pink Eyes, which is just an awesome song. It's one of my favorite Cure songs, and it's only available on the cassette for Staring at the Sea. And it's on the B-side of the cassette. It's not on the CD. It's not on the album. It's only on the cassette. Has like, I think 12 songs on it that are all B-sides. It's impossible to find. So to be able to find that song, which is one of my favorites, on this 12-inch, I was really excited about that. Picture cover 12-inch, The Cure. I don't know if you can really go wrong with that. Got this for Christmas. This is Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures. Obviously, great record. Henry Rollins says that when they talk about the greatest, most influential records of all time, that this should definitely be in there. This one's cool because it's red. Woo, look at that. Right? Pretty cool. If you don't know about this record, you should go look it up, pay attention. If you do know about it, I don't know what else more there is for me to say. Great record. Too bad we lost the singer. Next up, we have Lil Wayne, The Carter 3. This is a repress, but I don't mind. This is from a company called Vinyl Me Please. This is just a really high quality repress. This has a song on here that my son and I totally love called Shoot Me Down. It starts off really slow. His rhyme style, Lil Wayne's rhyme style is running. You might not like Lil Wayne, or you might think that it's just kind of whacked, but if you follow him, like Carter 1, 2, and 3 is where he was, I think, at his best. And you got these blood red vinyls in here, right? I mean, it just looks like blood. It just looks like you getting murdered on track. And that's what he's doing. He's got a lot of styles that he's kind of on there, but that, you know, it's worth it alone for that Shoot Me Down. But I mean, for songs that you probably are familiar with off the radio, Mrs. Officer, Lollipop, you know, stuff like that. But this is a really great album. You know, I'm stoked to find this. This is a 180 gram vinyl. Even the eyes, like this is all matte finish, but the eyes are glossy. I don't know if you see that. Kind of looks like he's looking at you. I don't know. Cool regardless. Let's just make sure that this doesn't get too messed up. Next up, we have The Church Heyday. They pay up a little bit for this record, but that's all right. This is the album that came out before their famous, very famous Starfish album. This is great. These 80s records are coming, even these 80s like alternative bands are harder and harder to find these days. The prices are just going up and up and up. This is really close to the style of their Starfish album, so if you like that, then I guarantee you're gonna like this. But really great find. Got this with my boys over at the Audio Nerd. So great album here. I got this for Christmas. This is Yellow Wolf's Radioactive album. This is his first album on Shady Records. This is great. My son got me this. He knows I'm a big Yellow Wolf fan. He's a big Yellow Wolf fan. This is a gatefold. Just a lot of words in here, maybe a little bit of artwork, not a ton, so try not to open it too much. But this album is really good. If you like Yellow Wolf, you know, I know I've talked about him in the past. I think it's important to check out all of his stuff, but this is a really great album as well. It's on 180 gram vinyl. This is a re-release, but that's all right because it's just so nice. Okay, here we have another record from Vinyl Me Please. Some type of subscription service. I didn't buy these. I don't have a subscription. I just found these in the wild. This is just some, it says Afro rock, but it's really kind of a little bit more funky. This is badass. It's just cool to put on in the back. This is a numbered pressing as well. So, you know, it's got a gold number on the back. It tells you it's limited. It's 180 gram vinyl. It's just something a little different. If you want something that your friends don't have, this is definitely it. Had to pay up a little bit. Sometimes these Vinyl Me Please records go up in value pretty fast, but I was lucky enough to get this one, and it's a great record. All right. Public Enemy 12-inch picture cover. Come on, this is off Fear of a Black Planet. Can't do nothing for you, man. You got Flavor Flav on the front. He's not even the freaking singer. He's just the hype man. You got Small Chuck D, Terminator X, but Flavor Flav on the front, dude, right? So it's cool. He's got his big ass clock. Everybody knows. You got the S1W here. This is Can't Do Nothing For You, Man, if you know that song. But more importantly, what I was excited about is my favorite song off Fear of a Black Planet is Burn Hollywood Burn. And that's on there, which is great. It's the censored, fried to the radio version, but that's all right. I love that song. It's so great. And you got Can't Do Nothing For You, Man, and Get the Fuck Out of Dodge. There's two versions of that on here as well. There's no instrumental and there's no acapella, which you usually find on a hip-hop 12-inch, but come on. What's more Public Enemy than this picture of Flavor Flav right here? All right, this one, Jimmy Cliff, the harder they come. Okay, so I'm not a reggae fan or anything like that, but I bought this record because my friend posts a picture of it all the time, and the cover alone is so badass that I had to buy it. If they put this on a shirt or on a poster, I would buy it and hang it in my house. This just says cool. Got this dude riding the chopper. You got this drop top pimp mobile. This guy's singing, and this guy's got two guns saying, "Who wants some?" I don't know. It's pretty badass to me. I just think this is a great album. Cover, you know, this is a gatefold. You got a little bit of nudity going on here, I guess. And so, you know, like I said, I'm not a huge reggae fan, but this one on cover alone gets mad props, mad points. I just like it. I think it's cool. So I bought this I had to even pay up a little bit for this, but for the cover alone, it's rare you just see artwork that's just so badass, all right? This is so badass. All right, we got Concrete Blonde, their first album. You know, this is just, I like this girl's voice. You know, it's just really good to me. And so this is before their famous song that was in Pump Up the Volume, that Joey song that everybody knows and likes from Concrete Blonde, if you even know who they are. But this is their first album, a little bit more rough. Obviously before it's so polished, but still really good. I like it. I was excited to find that. This Childish Gambino. This is a box set that I got. It's pretty cool. You know, this is way better than just the 12-inch. You know, these are 180 gram vinyls in here. I won't pull them out, but it comes with this book also. You know, it's all kind of just, you know, pictures that are relate to the cover of you know, whoever's wearing this mask on the front. And then it has these really weird 3D glasses that you can put together. You know, I'm not quite sure what's going on. I think you look at the record when it's playing. I played the record, but I just don't mess with these glasses because I know that they just, you know, they up the value of what's going on, and I just don't want to fuck with it. But, you know, anyways, this is a great record. Everybody knows that Redbone song. It's basically why I bought this, but the whole album is good. But, you know, call it, you know, too hyped or anything like that, but that Redbone is so good, man. That song is so good. That's what made me even give a shit about Childish Gambino to begin with. So this is great. My two favorite finds that I've had over the past, you know, call it, shit, I don't even know. For the past year, the two records that I bought recently, you know, get back to the Distillers. So this is Distillers Coral Fang. This is their last album before they broke up. And this is just a phenomenal album. Drain the Blood, Dismantle Me, Coral Fang, you know, Love is Paranoid. This album is phenomenal. Her voice on here is second to none. She's now in my top 3 female singers of all time, and maybe top 2. This is a clear vinyl. It's beautiful. I love this record. I kind of can't get enough of it. I listen to it when I'm at home, and I also listen to it when I'm in the car through digital format. You know, I think that there's a lot more melody and harmonies going on than on the first Distillers album, so it sounds a little bit more polished. A lot of people call this album, you know, they call Brody Dalle, they're saying that she's the female version of Kurt Cobain. I don't know. Maybe just because she sings melodic punk rock songs. I don't know. But really good album. This is limited to 2,000 copies, and it's actually pressed on the back. You know, this is 1664. Really excited to have this. 180 gram vinyl as well. And then this one, this is my favorite record that I've probably bought in the past, favorite piece of music that I've probably bought in the past 10 years. And this is Brody Dalle's solo album.
So this is pretty hard to find. I had to get this shipped in from the Netherlands. I was able to find a sealed copy. You know, this is from 2014. There wasn't really any available in the US. Even if you look on Discogs or eBay or anything like that, sell a CD, but to find the vinyl is really hard. This is a lot more tame. This is a lot, you can tell the maturity of what's going on with the song styles and all of that kind of stuff. You know, Rat Race and Don't Mess With Me are kind of two of the standout tracks because they have videos for them. But Meet the Fetus, Oh the Joy, that's got a pretty crazy Japanese animation video that goes along with it. And it also has, what's that girl from Garbage? Shirley Manson at the end doing some choir type stuff mixed with Brody playing guitar, and it sounds pretty cool. And then this has a song that's now become my favorite on the album. It's called Parties for Prostitutes. I don't know if it really has anything to do with prostitutes or not, but this album is the shit. So, you know, I got some money for Christmas and I couldn't figure out what to do, just spend it on bullshit or this. I bought this. I had it sent. I had to pay up quite a bit for it, but well worth it. I haven't even opened it yet. So when I do, maybe I'll put that in the next video. I'll show you how to open a clean record the right way and make sure that you're not fucking it up or messing up the value. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for stopping. We'll catch you.